Okay, let's go over this extra review. This is almost identical to your quiz. So if you can do these questions, you're going to have no problem actually doing your quiz. So this first part is in exponential form. I want you to write it in logarithmic form. So the base is 14, so you do log, little 14, little base, then the number. And remember, logs are equal to the exponent. So my exponent of -2 is the answer to this log question. Okay, so for this one, log base 289 of 17 equals a half. Okay, should be very easy. Again, if you wanted to double check, you can type this in the calculator. It's going to tell you 1/2. Okay, it has to be a true statement. Okay, then this is the other direction. So we're now making this look like how we started in number 1. So my base is 36. The exponent is -1/2, and it would equal 1/6. Okay, so again, as long as you don't mix up the numbers, and here's a real easy one where the base is 3. We know that if you square 3 to the second power, it's going to equal 9. Okay, so if you can do one of them, you can do them all. Okay, so now for this one, we're going to expand. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 things, so I'm going to need to write log base 4, log base 4, log base 4, log base 4. So we have 4 items. The first thing we see, and it's up top, is going to be a 5, so I just put a 5. Then the next thing, since it's up top, we're going to use a plus sign. It's going to be x to the 4th, but I put the 4 in front. Okay. Now the rest is in the bottom, so I need a minus sign. So the 3's in the bottom, so log base 4 of 3. And finally, the y is in the bottom. Okay, and again, if any of these had powers, that power would just go in front of the log. Okay, here we're now going in reverse. So we're writing this as a single log. Since I see minus, I know it's a quotient. If this was all pluses, then you just would write all the factors together. But in this case, it's x raised to the 30th power. Okay, that 30 is the exponent. On the bottom, though, I'm going to have a y to the 5th, and I'm going to have a z to the 5th. And you're done. Okay, so should be very easy to expand and condense. This section, you can just use your calculator. Now, I know this one is going to be a -2. I can look at that, and I know that log base 5 of 1/25, but as long as you know where the math key is, you're not going to get these wrong. So math, go to log base, and put in your 5. 1/25, it's going to tell you -2. Okay, so then math, log base, I'm going to have a base of 7, the number is 143, it's going to be a decimal, and it's 2.550. Okay, try to round to 3 decimal places. This, once again, is going to be a -2. Okay, but I'll just double check on a calculator. I know base is 9, 1/81. It's going to result in a -2. Okay, this last one, another decimal. Now remember, you could do the common log. If you take the common log of the number 743, close the parentheses, and divide by the common log of the base. Okay, but why use that if you can just simply use the log key? Okay, so in this case, 6.017 to 3 decimal places. So again, math key, put in the 3, and then 743. You're going to get the same answer. Okay, so if you happen to have somewhere out there, you just have a calculator with just the common log, base 10. You can always take the common log of the number divided by the common log of the base. Okay. This next problem, you're going to see a problem very similar to this. The second we see the base, we know it's going to be a decay. That base is less than 1. Now, on your quiz, it could be 1 point something. Okay, then it would be a growth. But in this case, I know decay. And when we type this in the calculator, you're going to see that the number's decreasing over time. Okay, now the percent is the difference between 1 and the base. So in this case, it's 9%. Okay, so make sure you write it as a percent. Okay, you'll get a decimal, but then move the decimal point 2 places to the right and put a percent sign. Okay, so now for this one, we need to go to the y equals screen. So I'm going to go to the y equals screen. 473000. Make sure you hit times. Okay, so the calculator knows that the base, the only thing being raised to the power is that 0.91. That's just our starting amount. And then raise it to the x. Go to your table. I'm going to have my table start at 0. And you can see each year the population is decreasing. So we want to estimate, we have about 100,000 people. We're going to have 100,000 people in 2016. Okay, so between 16 and 17, but it would still be in the year 2016. So 2016, that's when we'll hit that. And again, you don't have to change your table. You can just go by ones, but if I changed it to 0.1, I could be even more accurate. Okay, but really, since that's a year, 2016, we don't need to know the month. And then we have to go to 25 to represent this year, and at the start of 25, we only had 44,761 people. Okay, so again, pretty easy, hopefully. And then this second page, we start off with a graph. The second you see your graph, you can say all reals for the domain. Okay, so here we have a stretch, so that 5 is not the base, the 2 is the base. So as soon as I know the base is a number greater than 1, I know it's going to be growth. You're going to see it goes up. Okay, but we're also shifting up 3. Now I would draw a dotted horizontal guideline just to show you that our outcomes are never going to be below this since we're shifting up. I also know my range is going to be all y values greater than 3, and I'll confirm that on my calculator. So when I go back to the y equals screen, 5 times 2 raised to the x plus 3, I can see we're going to be up here. Okay. Oh, I forgot to, I knew it wasn't going to be a shift. I forgot to push away. So 5 times 2 raised to the x and then push away, because it shouldn't be a shift to the left. So my mistake for not moving. So just make sure you type in exactly how you see your problem. Okay, so now when I hit graph, now I'm going to see all the points are above 3. So I'm just going to go to my second graph, and I'm going to see when x is 0, we're going to be at 8. When x is 1, we're going to be up at 13. And I'll use a negative number. We'll say -1, and we'll be at 5.5. We'll go to -4, just be slightly above our dotted line, okay? Because I know I'm not going to cross right here. So when you connect the dots, stay above. You're always going to get closer to that horizontal value of 3. So there's my graph. It goes up very quickly. Okay, that's an exponential growth function. Okay, almost done. And so far it's only taken 9 minutes. This right here, I want to see what you type in the calculator. So write it down, then type it in the calculator, hit enter, and just round to the nearest penny. So we start off, your ending amount, what we're trying to find, starts out with taking $9,500 to the bank. It's 1 plus my interest rate. Just make sure you move this decimal point 2 places to the left. Okay, so it's 0.0625 divided by, in this case, weekly. You should know it's 52 weeks in a year. So you may see quarterly, then use a 4. If you see monthly, use a 12. If you see daily, 365. And then the number of years is going to be 15. And don't forget to multiply that by 52. Okay, because Each week is when it gets compounded. So once I do that, I just simply type in to my calculator exactly what we wrote down, 0.0625 divided by 52, raised to 15 times 52. And you're going to see at the end of 15 years, your $9,500 becomes $24,245.45. You should round that 4 to a 5. Okay? And then the last two questions on your quiz is really from Chapter 5, and just want to make sure you realize the order in which you have to undo things. Since the A is being raised to our power, I need to undo the 5 first, so it's a term, so we just subtract that. So it's 3 times A raised to the 2/3 equals 75. And now, a lot of people on their test assume that 3 and the A were connected. It's not. That 3, if it was in parentheses, then I would get rid of the power, but since it's not in parentheses, I must divide. And A raised to the 2/3 is going to be a 25. And now my last move to undo a power, you don't divide, you raise to its reciprocal. Okay, so 25 raised to the 3/2, that's going to come out nice and neatly at 125. Oops, right there it is. So 125 is our answer. Okay, and if you would take 5 plus 3 times 125 raised to the 2/3, it becomes 80. Okay, this next problem, first move, and another thing is, it's on your last test, you can't distribute, okay? PEMDAS, since this is being raised to a power, I am not allowed to multiply first, okay? So to undo that 3, we simply divide, okay? So 81 divided by 3 is going to be a 27. Okay, that whole thing is in parentheses, so since that's in parentheses, now I need to get rid of the power. Okay, so I'm going to raise both sides to the 2/3. And then if I ask my calculator, hey, 27 raised to the 2/3, it becomes a 9. And now my last move, subtract a 13. So minus 13, you're going to get -4. -4 is the answer. And again, on the test, you can quickly type, substitute in, show that if I raise this to the 3/2, this whole thing, 3 times my answer plus 13 raised to 3/2, this better be 81, and it is. Okay, so that is your test. It took 13 minutes of going over this and explaining it. You will have no problem getting it done in one period. Okay, thanks for watching. This, again, I'm not collecting. You're going to hand in the actual review packet. So this was just an extra. Some people requested some extra problems. These 18 questions, expect them on your quiz. Thanks for watching. Take care.